Tanpuras are a joke. This guy is fibbing us, he's going to sing Vimpalas because he never does that. And he reduces the sound. And both the Tanpuras come back into Vimpalas.
Wow.
And he's singing that phrase. When he lets it go, both the Tanpuras have gone into joke. I mean, how many musicians do you see have achieved nirvana? None. For the time being that they're playing, they lose themselves. It is an overrated idea because spiritualism is not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Not even the spiritual masters. Like, for example, if you go to the Dalai Lama's place and you want to be initiated into spiritualism, the first few years you're cleaning the dishes and you're mopping the floor. They're not teaching you any mantras, nothing.
Yeah.
If you're ready, if your vessel is ready to receive something, then the spiritualism might happen. And how many Dalai Lamas are there? Only one. So this, I feel spiritualism in music is one of a gimmick. You can sell it very well. So that's what's happening usually.
Yeah.
But it is, I'm not saying that it is not there. I'm just saying that a path to that spiritualism is not, if you think it's going to bring you happiness, it's not going to bring you happiness. There's a lot of turmoil on that path. If you see the actual spiritual masters who are studying, their guts are getting churned in and out. It's not an easy path. I've seen people.
Mm.
So we say your music is very spiritual and all that. Let me feel for 10 minutes, but not necessarily. It's so.
Yeah.
It's a good. It is a good kick. You can give yourself feeling high about it and feeling very spiritual and convincing yourself that you found God for some time.
Yeah.
But it is like spiritualism. It's like love. Either you are in love or you are not in love. You cannot be in love and then you cannot walk out of love and then you cannot be in love. No, it's not in that. Either you're in there or you're not there. I'm definitely not there. Alertness is everything for good music. You have to be alert. If you drown, you're going to die. If you don't enter it, you're going to be dry then. So you have to be in there, but at the same time you have to be. So that alertness is very important. I mean, one definition of awareness I can give you. I was sitting in McLeodganj, in Dharamsala, and then I went for a walk into the hills. And I crossed one or two hills, and I was sitting. And from really far, I saw this 6 Shaolin monks coming in yellow dress, with hats, and they were wearing white shoes. It was raining and it was mucky. From there to here they walked, and not a drop of mud on their white shoe. Just everything just below the heel. Can you see the presence of the mind? At every foot they're stepping, they're sure about how it's going to fall.
Wow.
And every foot is like so laid back, but yet you cannot feel that he's calculating his walk. Most elegant walk. So that's what your mind has to be there. It has to be that focused when you do something. You can't let it go out. It's not possible unless until this kind of awareness is there. And this awareness comes from that, from understanding what nature is, what the frequencies are, what the sound is. Basically, you just sit down and listen to what it has to tell you. You don't have to add anything to it. It's beautiful in itself. Just sit down and listen to what your instrument tells you. Instead of imposing yourself on the instrument and saying, I do this, I do that. Just see what that tanpura is telling you. Just see what your veena is telling you. And all these are connected with nature because temperature difference, different climate, humidity, everything is changing. Sometimes, why is it that you're singing Miyaki Mallar and you're feeling like, okay, it's going to be rainy season. It's sung in the rainy season. Why does it fit? Rags like this, Jaijawanti, Mallar, why do they fit in the rainy season? Why they don't fit so well in the summer season? Why is it that Megh fits properly well in the summer season? Why it's not fitting in the Mallar season? Why is it like that? The reason is both known and unknown. Unknown because you cannot quantify or you cannot you cannot get a formula to get there. But something within you and your sensibility taps into it. You can always question and ask, how do you know if it's true or false? I mean, how do you know this is true? Who told you? Or where did you read it? I haven't read it. But from the framework, if your framework has been cleared, it will take you in this direction, very simply. You won't have to struggle with it. As simple as that. You just have to go back to the basic and it will take you there.
So it becomes self-evident.
It becomes self-evident. And it will show you, I mean, it's impossible. It will take some time. Maybe it will take 3 months, it will take 3 years, maybe 30 years. But everybody is going to be different. But if you start setting in that direction of refinement, it will take you there. You should be wanting to go in it. And that is the actual definition of Dhrupad, one which takes you towards that refinement. That is not a picture and it's not an image. That is cannot be seen, can be heard. That presence is there. When you arrive there, you know this is it. You cannot hold on to it. You cannot own it. But when you arrive there, there's a feeling of joy. Wow, so beautiful. So you have to let go and give it to what the nature is telling you now. It's like when you tune a tanpura on the stage and you wait for it to tell you what raga it's going to be. Or you tune the tanpura in such a way that it gives you only those set of overtones the raga you want to play. See, basically, where I think these ideas have originated from the tanpura. When you have 4 strings of the tanpura, at the different times of the day, the temperature changes and the tuning between the pancham and the kharak changes. And it gives a rise to a different set of overtones. So basically, it's nature. If you're just aware of what time of the day it is, which season of the year it is, which month of the year it is, it will automatically tune into those frequencies. The other thing is you have to train your ears to listen to those things. So one good exercise is to play the tanpura all the time and just listen to the sounds without trying to tap into them, because they will suggest certain overtones. And yeah, because of which then we have different rays, different gas, even different stars, and for different rags of the day, or from the night and all that. So I think it's just it is something that very many musicians don't want to accept, because they are believing that the sa is fixed and pa is fixed. It is fixed because you're not changing a pitch. If I'm playing in G sharp, I'm playing in G sharp. I'm not going to go to G. But within the G sharp, it cannot be a single note. When you strike a string, it's going to go and then come in. It's going to go out and then come into the. So those possibilities are there. When you strike a string softly or hardly, you can push the sa forward or backward. Or when you pull, you can come at that particular note and stand on it. You want to use a lower sa, you can use one hairline lower sa in a particular rag. It is being displayed, so use that. And somehow, all these things are very clear on the veena. And strangely enough, I don't know why, but when you shift the sa and you shift the re, when you shift a rag, exactly the same notes of the rag resonate. The other notes don't resonate. And that is not going to be possible until something has happened with the sa. See, the set of microtones combination, the distance between sa and re is something. If you say it's 4 points, let's imagine, like 4 points. In some other way, it's like you decided it's 7 points. Then re to ga is 6 points. Then ga to ma is something like 2 points, if you feel like that. But if you shift the sa also 1 back, then the distance between sa to re, the re will remain the same, but sa will become, the distance will become 7 points. And that will give rise to a whole set of new overtones. So I think that's how this thing expands itself. The newer possibilities that are coming in this. It's very clear when you're playing on the veena, where the sa is standing for this rag, where it's standing for Malkosh, where it's standing for Yaman, where it's standing for Bihag. It's very clear.
You said Bihag is slightly higher.
One microphone higher. Bihag is 1 microphone high. When you play that sa, you feel that the entire Bihag is standing over there. And this is not what I'm talking is nothing new. It has been researched for I don't know how many centuries.
Yeah, the process itself seems very mysterious to me.
Yeah,
Like
the process is very mysterious, but it's there.
how you come to hear those things.
Yes. Why do we hear those things? Why do we hear those things?
Because you said even that you've heard your Ustads Tuna Tanpura. Before they start singing, you can hear the raga.
Yeah, you can hear the rag. Before they start singing, I will tell you one example of Ustad singing in Holland on the stage, and he's tuned the tanpuras, and you can clearly hear Bhimpalas. Pushparaj is sitting next to me, Marian Swashik is sitting next to him, and I'm saying Bhimpalas. Pushparaj says sounds like. Marian said, I also thought Bhimpalas. And then somebody thinks that the courage is out of tune and he pushes out. Increases the courage by 1 shruti or something. Both the tanpuras go into jog. And I'm looking, I said, man, this changed. Sounding like jog. And both the other agreed. I said, yeah, it sounds like jog. And Ustad is pissed off. Because why did you change the tanpura? Or set it to something? Because one tanpura is off, the other tanpura is in tune. But when you hear them together, they are fine.
So it's that interaction.
Interaction.
And they're tuned the same way, or they're tuned in different?
They're tuned pasa sasa.
Yeah.
But the courage of this one is different. The pa, this pa and the other pa are not matching. This courage and the other courage are not matching. But when they mix, they are giving the overtones of Bhimpalas. And now jog is happening, so Ustad is like
Disturbed.
And then he looks at us. He's looking at us, and we look at him, and I said, oh, this man is like really, he's lost it now. What do we do? Then he waits for some time, and he announces that I'm going to sing Raga Megh. Tanpuras are in joke. This guy is fibbing us, he's going to sing Bhimpalas because he never does that. And he reduces the sa. And both the tanpuras come back into Bhimpalas.
Wow.
And he's singing that phrase And when he lets it go, both the tanpuras have gone into jog. As a result, the person accompanying him, what we hear from him is jog with the Rishabh and the Dhaibar, with the Re and the Da. It's sounding like jog straight away. And every time he is singing, it's sounding like Pimpalas.
Wow.
So this was like, I said, man, this is too much.
You talked about how the two saws in the middle are matching, and you're tuning the lower pancham and the karaj
Yeah,
to the raga.
yeah. So that's what I'm discovering, that the two sas, one is here and one hairline above, the second one. And then the karaj and the pancham are mostly deciding which rag it is. Even for Marwa, the pancham is deciding what rag it is. I could have played that concert with both the bars and played a Marwa over there. It wouldn't disturb. I mean, Hindol can have a pancham, basa, sasa. That's because that note is not there. But sometimes you can't hear the note. It's like you play a malkos with a pancham with a very low part. It doesn't interfere with the malkos at all. Never will. I've seen it so many times. You forget. It gives a kind of a komalni and a komal then. It doesn't give a pa. What happens to the pa? A very prominently struck pa string, what's happening to it? Where is it going? Why is it behaving like that? So it has some connection with the karaj, which is the sa. Obviously the sa is displaced. If it's like a tempered scale, we'll get a perfect thing. But it's not a tempered scale. So obviously the sa is being displaced front and back.
What about these Melakarta ragas from Carnatic music coming into the Dagar repertoire singing? Is that
Yeah, I think they have been there for 2-3 generations already, I'm sure.
like Kamboji, Vardhani,
Oh,
and
yeah.
others?
Kalakangi, Vagadhishwari,
So these,
Bhushani.
these have been performed by your family for a long time, but they seem to have
They have
kind of a
composition.
different, a different
I think they just
expression.
liked it and they just took it in. And because it belongs to Sadharani Giti, it has to be put within the rules of Sadharani Giti.
Yeah, because the rags themselves, they have obviously connection, but expression of them seem very different.
They will be different. It's the same. Like you have temples in South India, you have temples in North India. Temples in South India have steps, 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 like the music. The temples in North India have long domes, big domes, just like the music, like the Alaap. So it just, they will have to be adopted. They're going to go here. You have to make it, you have to change the rules. Because when the pace changes, then the entire ballgame will change.
The bhav is so different.
Yeah, it is.
So that's-
When you're going fast, you can jump over it.
Hmm.
But when you're going slow, you want to put your foot on it. So it will change the shape of things. So you have to be, your balance has to be good. You have to know how much pressure you have to put. And because when you stand on it, like we are seeing the different notes, the ha is higher and higher and higher. It will go to Deshkar, it will go to Bhopali, or it will go to something else, not Bhopali, sorry. It will go to some other art. So you have to be very careful when you're doing that. It's like you're touching something with the outermost tip of your finger. You're not holding it. When you're singing Karnataka style, you're holding it. And here you're just touching it with the outer finger. But the presence of the thing should be. Music is global. I mean, after a certain point, when you're playing music, you're forgetting. I mean, if the music transcends in a particular manner with the musician, you forget what rag it is, what note it is,
Where
and
it
even
comes
what genre it is.
Yeah.
It has become But that genre and that note is something like, it's like the framework of a boat, but you're going onto the sea. The entire ocean is yours.
So if you see someone who's bringing the ideas or you may say the spirit of the consciousness and the learning of Dhrupad, say in a particular raga, into another genre,
Yeah.
do you see that as a possibility with just as much validity, or is it something
depends
kind
on
of
how he
break
does it.
apart?
No, if we can put it nicely, why not? Why not? I mean, if you can put that very nicely, merge into something nice, it takes long time to do that. You have to do months or maybe few years of research where you can put two things together over again and again and again, and then finally it starts weaving itself like a carpet. But if it's possible, why not? I mean, what? It's fine. I think it's okay. But it's not fine for a beginner musician to do that.
Yeah.
Because his framework is not developed as yet. It's not understood. Someone who's understood the form can go ahead and do that. Because if that musician stops being who he is, then there's nothing. If I cross over and stop being the Dhrupad musician I am, then there is nothing in me. You have to belong to somewhere.
Yeah.
So that belonging to somewhere does something to the thing. Tomorrow, if I can't play jazz, means nothing. It is not my way of life. And I'll be a third-rate jazz musician because I have not lived that life. I'll be a very bad imitation of what's happening. Just being brilliant and then being able to do is not the thing. You have to have something from within that transcends into that. Then I can take the Dhrupad across into jazz. That musician can get his thing into me. Because I am following a framework. I am seeing what my Rishabh is, Gandhar is, Pancham is. That is who I am. He is not seeing that. He is seeing what is my tonality. He is seeing something else. And something else which I am not able to see. Because I don't believe in that lifestyle, or I don't live that lifestyle. Doesn't matter. But I am not going to get there at all. It's impossible for me to get there. Because I am incapable of getting there. Music is something that liberates.
Yeah.
The idea of God is one everywhere. Christianity believes in the Lord. The Muslims believe in Allah. Here we believe in Ishwar. Neither of them can be seen. Can they be seen? Then how can you say that you are born in Europe, you follow Christianity. Obviously, it's minus temperatures in the winter. You don't go barefoot into the church. It's common sense. You live in India, there's so much dust. You don't take your shoes into the temple. It is as simple as that. If you want to get stuck with all these things in life, your life is over, boss. There's nothing there. It's better than that. You understand what the compositions are, what the Alaap is, what the words are, how beautifully they are put. It's poetry. It's somebody pouring their love into it. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. If somebody wants to include Jesus Christ in the composition, and if it's done in the most meaningful manner, how can you stop it? But if you do it for the sake of a social thing, oh, I want to put this because this is not being sung nowadays and it should be sung like this because it has to be a global thing, it doesn't work. You have to understand the parameters of the framework, how you are and how it works. Then you can contribute whatever you want. So there can't be unity and fraternity. I'll tell you why. Because they are staunch that parampara is existing. Because they only believe in what they are doing. That's why that lineage of thought is alive. It's a very strange thing.
So do you think that goes back generations?
Yeah. They will only believe in what they do. And they'll always think that somebody else doing anything else is not very good. They are like that. We are doing this. I know musicians who will say from the Khyal Paramba, so why are you listening to Dhrupad? It is dead art.
Definitely.
I've heard that from musicians. It is dead art. Well, you can get offended by it, but I choose to laugh because I see how much he respects his own art and he doesn't want to go away from it. And that will keep his art alive.
Hmm.
You have to be some staunch, stupid manner one has to be. And on the other side, you have to be liberal. He will not say no to that thing, but he will not totally agree with it ever, which is okay. My father used to always say, everything has a place in life, from the ant to the elephant. You can't take away one survives because of the other. So everybody is good in their own space. Let them be. Why do you want to change the way they're thinking? What is wrong with it? They understand the way of life. If you change the way of the way they think, they'll become miserable. They're happy. Let them be happy. He said, no, but they don't understand this. He said, it is not their job to understand this. It's their job to understand that what they're doing. Do you understand what they're understanding? No, I don't like it. He says, because you don't understand it. If you come from that lineage of thought, you will understand that. I always think life was like the two opposite sides of a bicycle tire. One side, this side is up, and the other side is up. It's keeping alive now. Maybe in the next 100 years, we'll let it go down something else. Everything has a time. And when people get fed up of it, or something too much happens, when it becomes enough,
Yeah.
you don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
So then it will definitely go down. It became enough when the princely states were abolished. That's because Khyal was not given that much importance in our life. And then Khyal came out. And now somehow Khyal has become enough. And people are moving towards Dhrupad again. But it's just, I think just the love for the work we give to life anyways, by the practitioners. But time will change.
Yeah, it feels like people are looking for something different.
Yes. People will look.
Different
Again,
kind of experience than just...
when they feel they have exhausted this, after a certain time, then they move to something else. But that's natural. Somebody will need 20 years, he'll have guava fruit, then he'll shift to have a mango. Then again he'll go back and say, oh, when I was small, I was eating guava fruit. I want to have it again. Such memories I have. It's just a matter of time.
Mm.